Yo, what's up, guys? I'm going to be doing my first article for FPS General today. You would have seen my teammate Cursed the Mac, aka Scott Brass, do one in, I think it was in midweek. And he did his revolved on Xbox One and Call of Duty Ghosts. So we're going to try and aim to do different topics each. We don't want to all do the same topic because that would be quite boring and you'll just basically be watching the same thing. So I'm just going to show you who we're playing here quickly. We're playing Breakout, which is Alexi, Rob's, Ainsley, and I'm not sure if Necro's picking up or he's joined them, and I'm not sure who they dropped either. Obviously, Alexi played with Aware before, um, and they went to Skylab. It was Aware, Fizzy, Luke, Beta, and Alexi, and they did quite disappointing. I like them all as players and outside of the game. Like I think they're all great players and they're all great people outside the game. So it was a shame. I actually wanted them to like come top three, and try push Epsilon, but mate, I don't know whether one of them choked the weekend or one of them just had a bad event or they just had a bad event as a team. But the end result was obviously Alexi getting dropped. So I'm not sure who Aware have picked up. I'm not sure. I think Fizzy and Beta are looking for two because Luke's quit due to his connection. He is, if you remember from COD 4, Joker used to lag around, and it was ridiculous. He used to lag and kill everyone, and I think Luke's got this problem where he lags, but he gets the lag as well on his screen. Because Joker didn't used to get the lag on his screen. He used to lag in front of other people, but not on his screen. But I think Luke actually lags on his screen, and it's quite hard to play. So he's decided to take a step back until he's able to sort it all out, etc. So I'm just going to go onto the topic I'm going to talk about. I'm going to do mine about the effectiveness of score streaks and SMG players. I'm going to give you a few examples of SMG players, and obviously all SMG players, well, majority of SMG players are different. Most of them have a different game. Some like to play objective, some are patient and will just sit there and be objective all day long. Some people like to slay and be objective, and some people like to slay and not be objective at all. I'm going to give you an example of that EGL4, where I think it was a massive slaying problem. Like if you have too much slaying power in your team, it can actually backfire on you. Everyone's going to know what I'm going to go into. I'm going to go on to about Infused at EGL4. I think it was Infused. It was Gunchy, Jake, Excellence, and Flux, and they were playing Imperial second team. It was Momo, Madcat, Josh, and Mark. I think was the last one. They were 2-0 down on map, so they needed to win the CTF, and they were 1-0 down on CTF with 30 seconds to go, and they got 4 down on Summit, and this was on Black Ops 1, and then they all ran away. The whole Infused team ran away from the flag. Not one of them pulled it, and I think that just shows you like how important it is to have just a solely objective player in a team. I'm not saying none of them like to play objective, but it just shows if you would have a solely objective player in this team, you know, even if the other 3 ran away, this objective player would have still ran to this flag and picked it up. I'm not saying I'm not trying to say, oh yeah, those 4 are the worst players in the world because they didn't pick up the flag. It was just a simple mistake to make. But I do think if you have too much slaying power in a team, it's obviously it can work. It can work, and sometimes it can't work, which it didn't work like that. So it's always important to have an objective player in your team. Obviously, I'm going to give an example of 2 objective players. You got Shane, who's I think he's quite objective. He seems to be quite objective. Like you got Shane and Toby, who I'd say are out and out objective players. You've got Shane, who just has Jared to run around and slay for him, and obviously, if you've got Jared running around and slaying, it's going to be a big help. Like, Jared will just be running around, trying to stay alive, slaying, racking up score streaks, and basically paving the way for Shane to pull a flag. But obviously, it's not always going to be as easy as that. You're not always just going to... Your teammates aren't always going to come in and clean everyone out, and you're not going to be able to just get a flag just like that. So, obviously, as an OBJ player, I'm going to shorten it down to OBJ. You have to be quite smart in a lot of cases. Like even if your team's under a lot of pressure, sometimes personally I just pull their flag away, and due to the carrier sign being delayed, you can run it around in their spawn, for a good 30 seconds without them actually knowing where you're going, and that will relieve a lot of pressure off your team, and they'll be able to get out of spawn and pick up the kills and pave your way to pull the flag, obviously. Sometimes, as I do like to do my fair bit of objective, but I do like to slay as well. I'm kind of both. Some games I'll just want to slay, some games I just want to play objective. Like, if I pull a flag and none of my teammates near me, I'll either just run it towards a gap in the map where I know which is clear, or I'll just literally run it around their spawn. I started doing it on Black Ops 1 and it worked so well. Like, you could pull a flag and run it around everywhere, and it would just mind confuse the other team. Then they'll get distracted, and then they'll start be running across the map because they'll think you're going one way and then you'll go the other, and then your team can just pick up easy kills, and then, like I said, just pave a way for you to cap the flag. So it's important. But I was playing pickups the other day, and I'm going to give an example now. Like, some objective players just run at the opposition flag and just don't play it smart at all. It's so important to be smart when you play objective. You can't just run down middle map constantly at the opponent's flag. You've got to have some kind of knowledge as to, like, if they're holding one way, you need to obviously run the other side of the map and try and be sneaky and get to their flag. That's just key. You need to be smart and just try sneak round. If you're a kind of person who does like to slay an objective, and if you're not making the kills necessary, you need to just try and slow it down and be a bit more like, I'm gonna say objective, but that's not the word I'm looking for. Be a bit more sneaky and just try to sneak to their flag. And say if they do pull your flag, just get yourself in a good position to try and hide as they run past you and kill the flag carrier and return it. Even if you do get killed by another guy coming through, at least you do 9 times out of 10 get the flag return if you can get into a position of killing the flag carrier. So, but obviously, also you got to be aware that if you do kill the flag carrier, he's going to have 1 or 2 people coming back with him, because most teams will expect you to be on their flag if they haven't killed you in a long time, because they're not silly, they will know what's going on. So obviously you got to keep well hid and just try to pick up that flag kill. Even if I've seen loads of people do this as well. Say if you're hiding on their flag, they'll see one person run past, but it won't be the enemy of your flag. It'll be like just a plain enemy, and they'll shoot him. But it's kind of stupid, because as soon as you shoot him, and even if you miss or kill him, the flag carrier is going to know where you are, so he's not going to run your way. He's just going to try hold back and wait for his team. So it's just important that you just stay alive and just try and let the enemy run past you, and then obviously wait for the flag carrier. Obviously, as an SMG player as well, communication is just key. I've played with teammates who will shout and talk loads, which can be, if they're literally shouting, then that is quite off-putting. But you need someone who can talk a lot. I've teamed with people who talk a lot and people who don't talk much, and it does make it quite difficult if people don't talk much, because if you're pulling a flag, well, if they go to pull a flag and they don't tell you where they're pulling it, etc., it can be quite confusing. Like, they can end up moaning because they haven't got any cover, then you'll end up moaning because they haven't told you where they're running it, and then it will just end up in a big argument, and a big, like, argument over nothing, really. So it's just important to tell your other teammate where to cut off. Like, well, they should already know where to cut off if you told them where you're pulling it, but just to make sure they get all the choke points and make sure no one gets through. And obviously, it's just important to let them know where you're running. It's just common sense, really. But I'm just gonna wrap that up there. All my teammates are gonna start doing stuff for FPS General. So if you want to see any certain topics, like say on something like different, what do you think's the best gun? What do you think works well in this game? What doesn't work well in this game? About just loads of different stuff, really. If you want to see anything in particular, then just send us a message on Twitter or post a comment below. I'm gonna put in the chat all my teammates' Twitter and Skype. Not Skype, sorry. That'll be stupid, because then we'll just get host booted. Skype and YouTube's, and if you could give them a like and a follow, that'd be great. And yeah, cheers for watching.
Tracking sound.
Confirm 1 EKIA.
Hardpoint contested.